Is it possible to record an album, create original cover art, and stream it all around the world in 1 hour?
Sure. We just need 4 world-class musicians, a global art icon, a world-renowned audio engineer, a piano-friendly producer, 12 dedicated crew members, 10 flights, 5 hotel rooms, 2 rehearsals. Oh, and we did it all in 1 take.
My name is Adam Maness, and I was the producer on the Generation S album. When he asked me to produce the album, I was, of course, flattered and I think at first maybe a little bit nervous, to produce something from these great musicians. But I also was really confident in our ability here at Open Studio to capture what I knew would be amazing music. What is it about this chemistry between you three that you keep coming back to Reuben and Greg?
Yeah, so Greg and Reuben, both in their own beautiful and unique ways are some of the most amazing musicians, but also people that I've known. Their extreme skill level, their curiosity musically, their level of support that they give to me on just a number of different levels, in the middle of the beat, but also when we're working something out and they say, let's push it, let's pull this back, let's take that out. It's really just extraordinary. I mean, it seems natural and I'm so used to it. So it's like going back to an old friend that you have that's always giving, and so for me, I always hope that I'm giving enough to them because they've given so much to me, and it just is a natural thing to want to go back to them.
I remember him going to Betty Carter Jazz Ahead Festival in DC, and I remember him coming back and talking about Sarah, and ever since that week, he's been talking about doing some kind of project with his trio and then Sarah.
Well, I mean, Sarah's really the reason that this band is together. She was the impetus for doing this, because when I heard her for the first time at Betty Carter's Jazz Ahead, I believe that was 2019. I remember thinking I want to play with her. And then it was okay, well, she's really young. I think she was just getting finished with conservatory. I was like, well, she probably didn't have a band, so I can't play in her band, so I got to make a band for her to play in,
I'm attracted to musicians who have depth. And she has that at a very young age. You know what I mean? I had none of that at her age.
Her sense of time, her sense of melody, her sense of passion in the music, you could see. And it's, it kind of when you see people like that, it takes you back to being that age or reminiscing. I never thought that would happen. I always thought I always hear people say, oh yeah, I'm thinking back to a time, and I was like, yeah, let it go. Man, when you hear people playing the instrument like that at such a young age, it does take you back, and you do feel a certain way about it.
What is it like to come into a band where these three guys have known each other longer than you've been alive?
Yeah. Oh, it's very surreal for me. And really a dream. As a musician, you dream about playing with your certain people and heroes or people you've listened to on records that you just love. You hope one day that things like that will happen. And for me, this is a big milestone. I'm really humbled and honored to be with these guys. I've listened to them for years, since I was in high school, getting into the music, listening to Roy Hargrove and Joshua Redman. And it's hard to describe, it's hard to put into words, the feeling. Yeah.
What I've tried to start doing with this project in particular is to really trust what I like that I'm writing. The same way to trust what I like when I'm playing, and to really kind of get into that other place of like, listen as you're playing, just like would you like this? Because if you're not gonna like it, you can't expect anyone else to. So I'm getting away more from the like, let me use this slick chord, let me try to do this. A lot of this stuff that I wrote has like some serious like pentatonic, very simple underpinnings to that. And I used to be like, if I would see that, I would be like, okay, let me make that a little fancier. This project was definitely the first time where I felt like everything that I wrote was very honest and that was not manipulated at all. It's definitely not perfect, but that's where like Greg, Reuben, and Sarah, like they made it better than perfect.
Tell me what, in your mind, makes a Peter Martin composition?
Plagiarism.
All right.
Okay, seriously, guys, no, that's actually just a joke. The thing about Peter, and Reuben touched on it yesterday, is like, I've watched Peter, I've known him a long time, and so, we played in trio with Betty Carter. We played with Roy Hargrove. And so I've gotten a chance to listen to his writing evolve, and he has a sound, which is, very rare sometimes for people like to have a sound.
I think we're all striving. I guess we all have our own, divine sound, right? From the way we play, the way we speak. Our tone is our tone. But to actually have a sound with your pen is a little harder.
Some really hard melodies. That's what makes Peter Martin compositions. No, what I love about Peter's compositions, not only on this project, but over many years, is that he writes with a lot of different textures. And I found that out on the saxophone because some songs I'd be really pushing, and it would be like hardcore. And the other songs I'd have to be, tone-wise, I'd have to be really light and really floaty to match what he was playing on the piano if we played a melody together, which we did a lot of the time.
Talk to me a little bit about yesterday and why you were so attracted to this idea of recording this album while it's being live streamed.
Yeah.
It seems super risky. It seems like a tightrope walk.
Right.
And so what it is about that process that you wanted to add to this?
Well, just a little reminder, that was actually partially your idea. Yeah, we were sitting right in there. I was like, it's risky, so I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge, but it's definitely something I felt like we could pull off. But I also felt like, well, if we can pull it off, I think the music will be really interesting and be benefited from doing it in this way.
At first, when Peter first told me about the concept, I was a little nervous, of course, because it's just like one take. That kind of thing was like playing in my dreams, like, just wow, that was the only take,
Streaming can be terrifying because it's happening live. Like if you press the wrong button, how many people see that? You're talking thousands. My name is Caleb Kirby. I'm studio operations at Open Studio. One of the biggest problems with streaming is like you're funneling all of these devices into one system, and then that system has to be able to carry all that information load out there into the internet. And there's a bunch of stuff that can come up with that. You feel this sense of comfort and ease because they're just in this scenario so often where the pressure's on, it's time to perform, they have to bring something to the table, but also that's their comfort zone.
In the beginning, at least the first stream, we didn't know how to kind of act, it was like, oh, this is live, but it's a recording. I mean, what are we supposed to do? We kind of missed that element, I thought. But once we got over that, I think the music kind of just took off.
What is up, everybody? My name is Adam Maness. I am the creative director here at Open Studio, and we are at beautiful Open Studio headquarters in Midtown, St. Louis, Missouri. We are so excited for tonight because we're making an album.
One of the interesting things is that there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of direct connections in this studio. The other part of that is that most of those connections were actually made within about a week of us filming, because we did a dramatic studio overhaul. We went from having a relatively small system that wasn't capable of recording a record of this scope to tearing out every piece of gear that we had and starting from scratch.
Tell me about Kababi Bayak, your relationship with him, and why you wanted him to be a part of. He was here in the studio painting the album cover as y'all were making the record.
To me, that was just such an interesting and amazing thing to have two different art mediums happening at the same time. His studio's across the street from our studios, and the energy just with him being there, like, is palpable for me and inspiring for all of us here. But just like the music can live on and hopefully people are enjoying it, that's the visual manifestation. Not just we're documenting it with the video, which of course we are on the audio, but like a true artist's perspective on what that means.
Watching someone create on the spot is doing exactly what we do.
With the dedication of the team that we had assembled and the preparation of the musicians, we really pulled it off. The feeling that we had after that week, after the stream, after the performance at the Music at the Intersection Festival, I think was really gratifying. I think it was a great team building experience, and I think it'll be one of many similar projects that we'll do in the future.
This is a very honest project. That's the best word I can come up with, because it's very heartfelt. I think, the camaraderie that we have, the love that we have for each other, is real. And I think it's in the music. It's in the music.